Okay, Christina here to listen to some music. And today we have a brand new full album listening of The Point of No Return by Kansas. This is track number 1, Point of No Return. So this is the 4th full album listening on the channel, and no, I don't do the whole album all at once. I do it 1 or maybe 2 tracks at a time. A handful of them are released to the public on YouTube. The rest you can find on Patreon or for channel members. But I do all of the listening in quick succession, so like between 24 to 48 hours between each of the listenings. And in that time between, I go back and listen to the previous tracks and just really soak everything in. When I'm doing these reactions, my brain is sort of dissecting things, and so I do like to go back afterwards and just sit back and relax and soak it all in. So on the channel so far, we've done Dark Side of the Moon, Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, and Boston by Boston. And so now here we are doing Point of No Return by Kansas. I've done a couple of reactions to Kansas already on the channel, and I loved this group. So I am super excited to be able to dive in and really get a closer look at this group and see an entire album up close. And again, what is the point of all this listening? I am a professional classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So we dive into all different aspects of the music, the composition, maybe what they were thinking when they wrote it, the instruments that were used, a little bit of theory, maybe some demonstration on the instruments, and of course, how do we relate to it? Why do we like this music? Or maybe why do we not like it? So, as I said, I'm super excited about this one. No more delaying. Let's listen. Okay. Also, I do know that this album came out in 1977, but that's about it. So here we go. Okay, so I think we've got the opening here, and wow, did we start out with a bang, with a crash, all of the cymbals crashing. Very cool. It's very proggy. I'm really getting to know prog rock here on the channel, and this is definitely in that category. It's different from, say, Carry On Wayward Son. I did that one on the channel. There's less focus on the vocals, obviously, like with Carry On Wayward Son, there was the little chorus thing, but the song's not over yet. That could come in later. I don't know. The time signatures, though, they are really messing with us here. You really want to sit back and be comfortable, but then it's not very straightforward, and so you're not that comfortable. And honestly, if it was, it would be quite a lot less interesting. So I'm glad the discomfort is there. Okay, I just have to say the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so I know also that there is a fiddle player in this group, a violinist. I swear I am hearing a bowed instrument. It's in the register of a violin, so I'm guessing it's the violin being played with the keyboard, the organ. Surely I'm right, right? It had to have been there. I could hear just a little bit of the notes hanging over at the very, very end. All right, but we'll go back and take a look. I think we're heading into a new section. I'm going to back it up just a tiny bit just to get into that. Here we go. Of no return. right, I'm definitely hearing some violins. At least just one might be looped over the top of one another, but definitely. And there were some awesome licks in there. Like, really cool stuff. Definitely going back and taking a look at that after I finish the song. I'm hearing a little bit of the chorus action back there. There was also one really beautiful moment in this middle section. Really beautiful. Enough to really grab you for this album. Okay, so now we're to the last third of this song. Is it going to be strict A, B, A? Or is it going to be more A, B with a mix of everything like a coda? We'll find out. Let's back it up a little bit. Here we go.
Today I found a message floating in the sea from you to me. Wrote that when you could see it, you cried with fear. The point was near. Was it you that said, how long? How long? How long to the point of no return? How long? How long to the point of no return? No return. How long? How long? How long? How long? How long?
Okay, that was a great song. Great introduction for this album. And so is the violinist, is it the member of the band who's doing all that? Because that is some good violin playing in there. It really is. And what I've heard in the past was not as technically difficult. So I'm assuming it's the same person, but maybe they hired some other string players to come in. I don't know. Well, if you know, let me know. Put in the comments. Otherwise, this was a great song. It's too short. I want it to be longer. But what was jam-packed into this 3 minutes was really satisfying. And again, it just started out with a solid sound. But at the same time, it's not too overwhelming. I didn't completely feel swept away at the beginning. The little bit in the middle is sort of when I felt kind of swept away and dreamy. And it was really beautiful. And that right there is enough of a hook to get me to come back and listen again and again. And also be really excited as to what's coming up next in the album. Okay, so let's hear the beginning. Yeah, it really starts out with a bang. But then it lightens up. There's, kind of skipped a beat. So that right there. So you hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So you can think of it in 4 and then 3, or you can think of it all together as in a beat of 7. And again, that's the discomfort. I think, yeah, it would be way too straightforward and plain if they didn't throw that little time signature skip in there. So let's hear where it keeps going from there.
They say the sea.
Right, and so that's the little sound I was hearing, that maybe there was a violin hanging on in there, because it would hang on. The sound of it was like trailing off just at the end of the organ sound. But first of all, that little riff right there. So one thing I've noticed with this band already, especially with Carrie on Wayward Son, is that they are fantastic writers of hooks. The sort of thing that it's in your ear, you walk away and it's there. It's solidly in your brain, even when you're done listening to the song, and it makes you want to come back and listen to it again. So that da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da little riff right there, that right there, it happened a lot It wasn't too much. It could have gotten overdone. But to me, that is like the quintessential proggy hook. A mix of acoustic with more organ type sounds, and that it's quick with sort of the stark percussion in the background. Again, the texture of this piece is sort of, it's not so thick and rich and dreamy as other prog music that I've heard. It's a little drier, but it's full of energy. So let's get to one of those little riffs with the violin. Let's see, there was one where it was, to me, it was just very apparent that there was a string instrument being played there. If you listen to the sound that happens at the end of the little riff, let's see if we can find it. It's there. Okay, and so what's also interesting is we're not getting that vocal chorus that I have come to really love from this group, such as what starts out Carry On Wayward Son. But there are some really cool harmonies in there. And even in the fade out at the end, they were still kind of playing, experimenting with those little harmonies in there. Mainly just 2 voices in there, possibly 3. And I think that was a good choice. They could have gone all out with the chorus, but they're really showcasing their lead singer, who has a lovely voice. It's so smooth, and he does tend to use mostly his chest voice, which sometimes can sound more forced, but the way he uses it it's beautiful. So here, it's not so much beauty as it is energy, but the smoothness and the control, he's got a great vibrato, is absolutely present. So I want to get to the center part because it was amazing. It was gorgeous. Let's hear it. Beautiful. Oh. Do you hear that? Hello? Violinist, do we hear that? Yum, bum, bum, ba, da, da. Okay, we're going to hear that again right now. Here we go. Love it. Oh. And right back into that energy. That's gorgeous. That might be my favorite spot of this song right now. That could change in the future, but for now, it's good. And it has that little violin run in there. So cool. And his voice is just so luscious. He's just wailing away. Okay, what is he wailing? I need to check the lyrics. Okay, so first of all, it's interesting that it's point of KNOW, no return. I heard the men saying something that captains tell. They pay you well, and they say they need sailing men to show the way and leave today. How long, how long? An ocean grave for all the brave. How long, how long, how long? To the point of no return, but then it's N-O, return. You wrote that when you could see it, you cried with fear. The point was near. So there's a lot of anxiety here. The unknown of the future. How far can you push things? How far is too far? So, sailing away. And I have to say that tends to be a common theme in a lot of prog rock, at least some that I've reacted to on the channel, having to do with like being on the water and boats and coming and going and longing for things, reminiscing of the past. There are just all sorts of things like this. It's interesting. There just seems to be something about the call of the sea that lends itself well to prog rock somehow. Like the ocean is huge and it's also kind of scary, but it's also exciting, and it can bring new exciting things to you, but it can also take things away. And there have been a lot of casualties at sea and a lot of battles fought. And so, I get it, but what this exactly is alluding to and why it's the point of NO, no return, in the lyrics, but then why is the title of the track and the album KNOW? Maybe we'll learn that as we go through the album. So yeah, we'll figure this out as we go. Regardless, I think this was a great opening track. So I do think it's sort of A, B, A, although the B section was sort of like a B1, B2. And in that B2 section is where it got really gorgeous. I just want to go back and listen to that part over and over again. And then how it ended, let's just go to the end again, because that energy came right back, but then all the instruments were just like on high alert. Let's hear some of that. How long? Wow. Listen to the piano. Joining with that little riff. That little hook. Nice. How long? How long? Asking that question over and over again. Nice. Oh, and I love that. And that was some of the experimentation I was talking about with some of the harmonies there at the end, because it was just like, how long? And then at that last one, he went, how long? So to me, this is really well planned compositionally, right up to the very, very end. And I absolutely do believe that it deserves a fade out. I've said in the past and other reactions that you have to be careful with how you end songs. Not everybody is good at it, but in this case, it deserves a good old-fashioned fade out, because you're just continuing to ask that question over and over again. Yeah, so the return of the A section did sort of end up like a coda. It was all of the instruments not only came back, but they came back with full force. And I loved how the piano joined in on the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That was really neat. Okay. So y'all know I can't resist. I gotta try some of the violin stuff. Okay, let's hear that the quick hook again. Oh, it's like waves. The cymbal crashing, it's like waves.
I heard the men saying something. The captains tell they pay you well, and they say they need sailing men to show the way and leave today. Was it you that said hello?
All right. Okay, something like that. That's really fun. That's actually almost tricky, especially the way it lands within the beat. Let's hear it again.
They say the sea turns so dark that
Yeah, it sort of lands on the da-da-da-da-da, kind of the upward motion. Okay, so I want to get to the beautiful part. It's all beautiful, but you know what I mean.
your brothers,
Nice. So I think it's just a G major arpeggio going downward. An arpeggio is a chord that's just played one note at a time. So it's starting with the high note and going all the way down. It sounds really good on the violin. It's a good arpeggio to play. And then it goes up high. Yeah. And then it goes back up. Something like that. Really, really cool. There are more notes that comes out of it. was the part I was also looking forward to. That's so cute. Let's see. Let's hear it again. Doo. I think that's close. All right, well, that's just too much fun. Okay, that was the first track from the full album listening of Point of No Return. It was great. It was everything I was hoping it would be, and it's just the beginning. And we already had the showcase of the excellent lead singer and the violinist, and some excellent prog moments, and great energy, and a deep meaning behind it. So I think this is going to be the start of a really nice adventure here. All right, so I can't wait to get to the next one. So I'll be doing that in the next day or so. And again, not all of them are going to be released publicly on YouTube. So the rest of the tracks will be on Patreon or for channel members. You can catch them over there. Otherwise, here we go. Another grand adventure. Love it. Okay, so don't forget to do all the things, like and subscribe. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. And keep listening.